Hello, everybody, and welcome to NFL Central, and welcome to our 5th episode. Today, I'm going to be talking strictly about the NFL playoffs and what I think is going to happen and who I think is going to make it into the playoffs. So let's jump right into it. I think on the NFC side, the first seed is going to be the New Orleans Saints. I think they're going to finish with a 12-4 record. I think the number 2 seed is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. They have a pretty easy finishing schedule, and I think they're going to go 12-4 as well. I don't think they're very good. Their offensive line has a lot of issues. They kind of fixed their defense, but I don't think they're actually going to be able to compete that much in the playoffs. But number 3, the 3 seed is going to be the Packers. I think they're going to go 11-5 because I think they're going to lose to the Bears in the last game of the season. And then who else did I think they were going to lose to? Oh, I think they're going to lose to the Titans this week. So I think they're going to lose their last 2 games, actually, which is going to be very un-Packers-like. But I don't think that the Bears or Titans are very good matchups for them. I think they can win both games. If they win both games, obviously going to be in the 1 seed, but I don't really see them winning those games. Number 4 seed is Washington football team. I think they're going to finish with a 7-9 record. It could be 6-10. Alex Smith needs to start for them to win. Dwayne Haskins is incompetent. I'm sure you've heard the story about him. He's being very mature right now. He is not their future. He doesn't really deserve to be on an NFL roster. He's terrible anyway. I think the 5th seed is going to be the Buccaneers. I think they finished with an 11-5 record. I think they've really figured out their issues. That second half against Atlanta was amazing. If they can keep that up, they are going to be contenders. And that's what I'm banking on right now. I really think that I think they finally figured out what they needed to figure out. It was an impressive game. I think what Bruce Arians has done is he finally taken some things that Tom used in New England, which is not as deep balls. But, I mean, you have to mix both of their systems. You saw the deep ball to Antonio Brown. But I think what I saw in that game was they weren't pushing it down the field as much, which is not Tom's play style. It was a bunch of checkdowns. It was a bunch of short passes, which works. And then when they pull them in, you throw a deep ball. I think that worked for them really well. Number 6 seed is the Rams. I think they finished with a 10-6 record. I wouldn't freak out about the Jets' loss. They're not as good as people thought they were. They're not as good as I thought they were, but I think they're still going to make the playoffs, and they're still a good team. They have a great secondary, especially with Jalen Ramsey, and a great pass rush with Aaron Donald. Jared Goff, I've been a supporter of his for a long time, but it's getting hard to support him with how he's doing lately. He's turning the ball over way too much, and he is the Rams' problem right now. They have great receivers, a great line, and great defense. He just needs to step up his game, and when he plays well, they're a really good team, but he needs to fix that. And number 7, I think the Bears are going to sneak into the playoffs because I think they're going to win out. And Mitch Trubisky's playing awesome. I think he's played his way into a new contract. I think he showed that he never should have been benched. He's playing really well. I've been a supporter of Mitch Trubisky, and I think it's showing that I'm right. He's not that bad. He needs proper coaching. Last year he doesn't have great coaching. This year, I think the Bears are just riddled with poor coaching. He's talented. He just needs somebody to believe in him. And I think that organization believes in him, and I don't think necessarily Matt Nagy believes in him. And he might get fired. We'll see what happens. On the AFC side, I think that the first seed is going to be the Chiefs. I think they're going to go 15-1. I don't think they lose another game, which I think is going to hurt them later in the playoffs, but we'll get into that later. But they're worrying me. They have, the last, I think, 5 games have been within 6 points. That can't happen. They're playing way too close with people that they should be blowing out. That can't happen. I think Patrick Mahomes isn't stepping into his throws. He's being lazy. You can tell he's not working as hard. That whole Chiefs organization is not working as hard. And I said it earlier, I think Patrick Mahomes is a good quarterback, but he is overrated. He got so many pieces around him. He's got a great coach with Andy Reid. And I think they're all getting way too cocky on the Chiefs. One Super Bowl win for Andy Reid does not change who he is. If we all remember, he was never able to play in the clutch. Never. I don't think this year is going to end out well for the Chiefs, and you'll see what I mean later. But Patrick Mahomes is being lazy. 3 picks against Miami, really? You're going to see in a little bit, but I'm worried about the Chiefs. Number 2 seed is the Bills, 13-3. I think they're going to finish the season really well. I think they're a little overrated. I think people are starting to anoint them like Colin Cowherd. I respect his opinion. sometimes, but he's saying that they're the best team in the NFL. I don't buy it. I really don't. Josh Allen is still inconsistent. He's played well the past few weeks, but he is still spotty. Every 3 or 4 weeks he plays well, and the next one it's bad. You can't forget that little 3-game stretch he had in the middle of the season where he didn't play well. You can't forget that. I don't really trust the Bills. I could be wrong, but I don't trust them. Number 3 seed is the Steelers. I think they're going to win one of their last 2 games. I think they're going to win next week, actually, and I think they're going to lose the last week to the Browns. So I think they go 12-4. They don't have a run game. Their defense is hurt. Big Ben looks really old. He looks like Drew Brees. He can't push the ball down the field. If you watch Drew Brees throw, he kind of javelin throws, and that's what you're seeing with Big Ben there. Instead of coming back here and following through, they're javelin throwing it, which is just a sign that there's pain in their elbows. And it happens when you get older, and Big Ben takes a lot of hits. So I am very worried about the Steelers. They seem to just be falling apart. Their coach he's been a good coach, but he's obviously not coaching them well right now. He can't bring them together. Juju Smith-Schuster needs to stop dancing on TikTok. What are you doing? You're just asking for trouble. It's stupid. He needs to stop. He's taunting the other players. It's hurting his team. Number 4 seed is the Titans. I think they finished with a 12-4 record. They win their division. It was close, but I think they're a good team. They don't have a pass rush, but their quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, is really good. Really good. 31 touchdowns and 5 picks is not something to miss. So he is definitely their future. And then Derrick Henry is the best running back in the league by far. Number 5 seed is the Browns. I think they go 12-4 as well. They're a really good team. Baker Mayfield is showing what I said he was going to be, which is the best quarterback out of the 2018 class. I don't know why everybody jumped off the bandwagon, but you're seeing why he's actually a good quarterback right now. There's not much to talk about there, though. They have a great team. They just got to be able to put it all together. But they are the Browns, so they might not. Number 6 seed is the Ravens. I think they go 11-5. I think Lamar and the Ravens are a very overrated team, but they have a really easy schedule to finish. Lamar cannot throw the ball. If you force him to not run and throw the ball, he can't. He can't throw the ball deep. He can't throw the ball outside. Sometimes he overshoots the guys who are like 3 yards in front of him. He's going to fall apart in the playoffs. I can tell you now, he's not going to win a playoff game. Not this year. Probably not ever. He's going to be out of the league. Not out of the league, but he's going to be a backup in about 3 years. He's a lot like RG3. He's going to get injured, or people are just going to figure out that he really cannot throw. Number 7 is the Colts. I think they go 11-5, sneak into the playoffs over the Dolphins. Unfortunately, I think the Dolphins are a better team, but it comes down to the strength of their schedule at the end of the year, and I just don't think the Dolphins can. They're not there yet to beat the opponents that they're playing at the end of the year. So the Colts sneak in. They're really inconsistent, but especially with Phillip Rivers. But they have the best line, and they have the best defense. And their rookie running back, Jonathan Taylor, really good, and he's starting to turn it on. I just don't think Phillip Rivers is the guy that can get him there. But all right, let's look at the wild card round. Now, the Saints and the Chiefs have a bye, to remind you. I think, so we're going to go with the first game. Buccaneers at Washington. I think the Buccaneers are going to win this 21-7. I don't think the Washington football team is going to be able to generate a lot of offense. Their defense is really good. They're going to pressure Tom Brady, but it's the GOAT, so I don't think they're going to be able to do just enough to stop him, so I think the Bucs win 21-7. The Rams at the Packers. I think the Rams are going to win this 24-17. Now, that might be controversial, but the Rams have a really good pass rush and a really good defensive backfield. Aaron Rodgers does not like to get hit. Their offensive line does not deal well with that type of pressure. I don't think the Packers can win this game. If Jared Goff plays a clean game, which he can, he does in the playoffs. He's good in the playoffs up until the Super Bowl. People forget that. I think the Rams can win this game 24-17. Bears at Seahawks. Here's another one people aren't going to like, but I'll explain why. I think the Bears are going to win this game 21-16. The Seahawks don't have an offensive line, and the Bears' defense is really good. They have Khalil Mack. They're not going to be able to stop that pressure. And Trubisky can put up 21 points on that really terrible defensive backfield. I don't think the Seahawks are really going to be able to make a late playoff push. And I think Trubisky can do enough. He showed it against the Eagles in 2018 that he's able to play well in the playoffs. And I think he's going to be able to play against a terrible defensive backfield. And I don't think the Seahawks are going to be able to handle Khalil Mack, their offensive line. I don't think it's going to happen. Browns at the Titans. I think the Titans are going to win this 35-24. Browns beat them already. I think they just caught the Titans by surprise, and I trust the Titans in the playoffs more than the Browns. Baker Mayfield's never played in the playoffs. He doesn't have experience. Unfortunately, I don't think it's their year. Next year, I think they're going to be contenders. Get to the conference championship game. Probably not the Super Bowl, but maybe we'll see. I have to see what they do in the offseason, obviously. But this is not their year, but next year, watch out for the Browns. But the Titans are going to win this game 35-24. The Ravens at the Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to win this 17-13. Steelers going to be injured, and they can't run the ball, but they're not. Their quarterback is not going to throw away the game like Lamar Jackson is. Lamar Jackson has shown he's incompetent in the playoffs, and that's not going to change here. The Steelers are a more experienced, better team than the Ravens. They have a better quarterback, and Lamar Jackson is not going to do crap in the playoffs. So 17-13 Steelers win. Final game of the wild card round is the Colts at the Bills. I think the Bills are going to win 35-17. I don't think the Colts can hang with the Bills. The Bills have a really good team. I think they're inconsistent, but I think the Colts are also inconsistent, and I think the Bills are going to be able to just do enough. They're more experienced. They're not as young as the Colts. I think they're going to be able to win that game. Now, we go into the divisional round. Now, to remind you, the Buccaneers won, Rams won, Bears won, Titans won, Steelers won, and Bills won. So going into the divisional round, the Steelers are going to play at Buffalo against the Bills. I think the Bills are going to win this 27-17. Even though the Bills are really inconsistent, the Steelers, their defense isn't going to be able to hold up. They're too injured, and they don't have a running game. The Bills are going to be able to win this game by more than 7 points. So, Titans at Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to escape one right here. I think they're going to win 28-25 barely. I think they're going to make a comeback. I think they're too cocky, like I said, but I think they're a good enough team that they can beat the Titans. Titans don't have a pass rush, so Patrick Mahomes will be able to put up a lot of points in crunch time. So the Chiefs, for about 3.5 quarters, are not going to try, and they're just going to think it's going to be given to them, and they're going to be really lackadaisical and lack urgency. But then when they realize they're going to lose, then Patrick Mahomes is going to turn it on, and they're going to use the talent that they have. They're the best team in the league based on talent. They're the best team, but they lack urgency and they're lazy. So, but I think they're going to be able to turn it on with the talent they have and win the game. The Rams at the Buccaneers are going to play. I think the Buccaneers face some of their demons. They lost to the Rams earlier in the season, but I trust Tom Brady more than I do Jared Goff, and I think that it would be crazy to think that Tom Brady's going to lose to somebody twice in a year. I know he did it with the Saints, but you know what I'm saying. He's not going to lose this game. He's going to win. I trust Tom Brady more than I do Jared Goff. Buccaneers are a more talented team. The Rams are not as good a team as the Buccaneers. Tom Brady will outplay Jared Goff. They've seen them once. I think, like I said earlier, that the Buccaneers have figured out their issues. Finally. It needed to happen, but I think they have. And we'll see what they do against Detroit this week. That'll be like a practice game for them. Now they say that they're going to lose, but whatever. I think the Buccaneers are going to beat the Rams 24-17. I think 17-14. I think the Bears and the Saints are going to play, and I think the Saints are going to win this one 21-10. Trust Drew Brees more than I do Mitch Trubisky. He's not going to make any mistakes, and they're going to win this game pretty easily. Mitch Trubisky hasn't played this far in the playoffs. Drew Brees has. Saints are a better team. They'll rush the passer well, and they have good cornerbacks. I don't think Trubisky's going to be able to handle that quite yet. So, Saints win this one and go to the conference championship game against the Buccaneers. And the Bills and Chiefs are playing the conference championship game. So, as we go and look at that, the Buccaneers are playing at the Saints. I think the Buccaneers are going to win this, 35-31. Brady has lost to them twice this year. It's not going to happen a third time. He's not going to lose to a team 3 times. It's not going to happen. They are a more talented team. They have seen them twice. They have lost to them twice. They are not going to take them for granted, but the Saints might take the Buccaneers for granted. I don't think this is going to work out well for the Saints. Drew Brees cannot push the ball down the field. He looked awful against the Chiefs. I don't think this is a good matchup for the Saints this week. They're going to get the ball out quick. As you saw against what the Buccaneers did against the Falcons was in the second half they started getting the ball off quick, and then the Falcons defense pulled up, and then they went deep to Antonio Brown. They were able to run the ball effectively. Ronald Jones will be back by this time. I think the Saints are going to underestimate the Buccaneers, and I think the Buccaneers are going to be ready for the Saints. And I think they finally figured out their issues, and they know they got to get the ball out quick. I think Bruce Arians has finally put away all of his ego and knows that Tom Brady's won 6 Super Bowls, Bruce Arians has won 0. He's going to try to start doing some of the stuff Tom Brady's way and some of the stuff Bruce Arians' way, and I think this is going to be a good mixture of Jordan deep balls that's going to win them the game. So Buccaneers go to the Super Bowl. Bills at Chiefs, the night game. I think the Chiefs are going to win this 42-38. I think the inexperience of the Bills is going to bite them in the butt. I think the Chiefs will be hyped up for this game. I think they're going to win at 42-38. Bills will make it close, but Chiefs are too talented. Now we go to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 55. Buccaneers versus the Chiefs. It's in Tampa Bay. So the first time that a team has ever played at their home stadium in the Super Bowl. Now, this game, I think, is going to be a crazy one. Because I think it's going to not be close. I don't think it's going to be that close. I think it'll be close at the end, but I think it'll be too little too late for the team that is going to lose. But let's talk about both teams. The Buccaneers' journey here was, it started off bad against the Saints. They started getting their groove on, went 7-2, then they hit a wall. And I think at this Falcons game, they just came back from 24-7. I think that's going to mark a point in their season that shows where they finally figured it out, because they have mixed the best of both worlds with Bruce Arians and Tom Brady. They finally figured out their offense, and I think they're just going to win out the rest of the year. Plus, you never count Tom Brady out in the playoffs. So the Buccaneers reached the Super Bowl that way. Their weaknesses are going to be their rookie right tackle, Tristan Wirfs, and their defensive backfield. It's not the best against the pass. Their strengths are at quarterback. Tom Brady has been to 9 Super Bowls, so he's going to be prepared. And their wide receiving core is amazing. Their defensive line is amazing, and their linebackers are amazing. Got Pro Bowl snubbed. Everybody knows that. The linebackers especially Levante David, should have made a Pro Bowl this year. Running backs are good for the Buccaneers too, and they're gonna know each other as well as they can this season because they're gonna be in the Super Bowl. They also are a little older than the Chiefs, which gives them a level of experience. Another weakness for the Buccaneers, though, is Bruce Arians is inexperienced when it comes to a head coaching in a Super Bowl. He's not been there yet. But Tom Brady will be able to take over that mantle for him, kind of prepare everybody for what they should expect. Now we look at the Chiefs. Their journey here has been, they've won. They're 23-1 in the last 24 games. They only lost to the Raiders. They know they're good. They know they're really talented, and they've just blown through everybody this year. They have a quarterback that could possibly win MVP. They have one of the best coaches in the league. And they don't really have any weaknesses is the thing. Their defense is kind of lacking right now, but it's still above average. Their offense is amazing. Best tight end in the league, one of the best wide receivers in the league, and possibly, I think, the second best quarterback in the league as of right now. I think Aaron Rodgers is playing a little better, but it's up for debate. Patrick Mahomes is pretty much tied for number 1 this year. I think they both walk into this game pretty ready for the Super Bowl, but I think they're going to walk in with different mindsets. The Buccaneers are going to come into this game as underdogs, as we know. And I think they're going to come into this game really, really, really serious and really, really prepared. The Chiefs are going to come into this game knowing that they're the best, and I think they're going to come into this game like they have most of the latter half of this season, kind of lazy, but knowing they're really talented, so it will keep them in this game, obviously. The Buccaneers are going to work their butt off. Tom Brady's not going to let them slack. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to work as hard as the Buccaneers, and I think that's what's going to come down with the game. I think the Buccaneers are going to win this game 42-31. Yep, by 11 points. I think the Chiefs are going to think they're going to walk in here. They've beat this team before. I think they're going to think they're just going to walk in here and take another Lombardi because they're so good. But I think their expectation and their cockiness and their laziness to win this game, I don't think it's going to work out for them against a guy like Tom Brady, who is really, really prepared and will prepare this more experienced team. And I don't think it's going to work out well for the Chiefs. 42-31, Buccaneers are going to win this game. And that's what I think. That's how I think the playoffs are going to go. It could change. I'll do another one of these episodes, definitely at least one more right before the playoffs, and I'll analyze the playoffs as they go on. It's going to be a really exciting playoffs, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. Now I have one more announcement. So on February 6th, the night before the Super Bowl, as we all know, the NFL honors come on where we know who the MVP is, and we figure out like all the NFL awards on it, like Comeback Player of the Year, Walter Payton Man of the Year, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, those type of things. I'm going to be doing one of those. It's not going to be a live stream because I can't live stream yet because I don't have enough subscribers or watch hours, but I will be making an episode where I will be giving out my own awards for all the players of who I think deserves these awards. Some of these awards will be what they give out in the NFL honors. Some of these awards will be what I come up with. You'll see when it happens, but I'm going to be releasing that February 6th. Few hours before NFL honors, so if you're excited for that, you can watch mine, and then you can watch the real one after you watch mine, or you don't have to watch mine at all. We'll see, whatever you guys want to do. But that is all I have for today. So I will see you hopefully next week.